27 BC was the advent of the age of the Roman Empire. It gradually grew in power and became a vast empire spanning Europe, Asia, Africa, and dominating the Mediterranean. It ruled over about 1/5 of the global population at the time. After the Roman Empire captured Jerusalem and drove the Jews out of Israel, Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness to all nations.
In 313 AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine I legalized Christianity. Years later, it was classified as the official state religion. The development of these events advanced the spread and expansion of Christianity throughout all of Europe, Asia, Africa, and all of mankind. It laid the foundation for Christianity among the ruling class and the common people across those continents. Of course, it influenced the lives of these people by way of their faith, thoughts, morals, and social trends. It also influenced the ideologies and political careers of generations of rulers. The expansion of Christianity in the Roman Empire and its influence led to panic among the rulers in Rome. They were afraid of and hated Christianity. To prevent Christianity from taking over their rule, they madly persecuted Christianity and murdered huge numbers of Christians. These measures brought natural disasters, internal strife, and outside incursions upon the Roman Empire, as well as a number of epidemics. There were repeated outbreaks, the shorter ones lasting a few decades, the longer lasting over a century. This brought about a sharp drop in the population of the empire. The once mighty ancient Roman Empire was in decline. In 1453, ancient Rome descended into chaos. Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Empire. Thus, the book was closed on the glorious history of the Roman Empire. After 1,500 glorious years, this is how the final days of the empire were ushered in. Its demise came under the wrath of God. The ancient Roman Empire rose up and was founded for the spread of Christianity. Its golden age was ushered in by establishing Christianity as its national religion. And the Roman Empire was destroyed due to its persecution of Christians. Although the Roman Empire faded from view and exited the stage of history, its mission, as well as its development and existence in human history, have had a profound influence on future generations. It was a strong force for the spread of Christianity, and it fueled the spread of Christian thought and its deepening in people's minds. Although ancient Rome's prosperity is a thing of the past, Christianity's influence on mankind has not ended. It has nurtured and guided generation after generation of people. It is like a seed rooted deeply in people's hearts, full of vitality. It not only liberated people's thoughts and drove the Renaissance, but it also provided an entirely new direction and inspiration for mankind's development in all walks of life. This led to Europe's art, culture, and science flourishing in unprecedented ways. In the 17th century, the victory of the bourgeois revolution in England led to the passing of the Bill of Rights, establishing the principle of Parliament's supremacy over the monarchy. As a result, England became the first constitutional monarchy, opening up the age of mankind, abolishing feudal monarchies and establishing constitutional monarchies. As the British constitutional monarchy was established, France, Germany, Italy, and Austria all followed suit. The bourgeois revolutions erupted, and one after another, feudal autocratic rule in these countries was overthrown. They set up their own constitutions and established their own constitutional monarchies. British industry and commerce flourished after a new shipping route was opened, driving the development of capitalism in the United Kingdom and creating a huge demand for resources. So while the UK was expanding its foreign trade, it also gradually broadened the scope of its colonial plundering and its expansion. Some countries and areas in Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Oceania, and Antarctica, as well as in the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian Ocean, the Antarctic Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean became British colonies, one after another. By the early 20th century, England had conquered 1/4 of the Earth's territory and its people. During England's colonial expansion, advanced knowledge and thinking in areas such as Western political systems, culture, religions, education, and medicine were introduced into the colonies. The old ruling orders of the colonized countries were overturned, and the pre-existing feudal ideologies were destroyed. This laid the foundation for the colonies unknowingly embarking upon the path of constitutional democracy. This brought about a turning point in the state of the rigid, stagnant, closed societies within the colonies, infusing them with new life. This was an enduring contribution to the development of every aspect of life in the colonies.
Missionary, save my brother!
In the 1870s, through industrialization and the repeal of feudal autocratic systems in countries all over the world, England gradually lost its dominant position in global industry. After 2 world wars, its colonies gained independence one by one. England headed into decline, completing its mission in history. In the mid to late 16th century, a group of people rose up from churches in England. They opposed the oppressiveness of the clergy, as well as the formalism in the church. They sought a pure religious creed, a pious life, a holy church, and a free nation. They were called the Puritans. In 1604, the British royal family ordered all Puritans to return to the state church and obey the bishop. Otherwise, they would face expulsion or even execution. So the Puritans were forced to leave Europe behind and head for North America. They were followed by larger numbers of Puritans. Some of them came from Oxford or Cambridge universities. They were generally more educated than most Europeans. They advocated for the concepts of autonomy, equality, and democracy, as well as God's teachings. They infused the United States Declaration of Independence and the American Constitution with these values. Without the Puritans, the United States of America would not have come into existence. And the separation of the three powers would never have been set up. So not only were the Puritans the cornerstone of the establishment of the USA, they were the pioneers who made America strong. On July 4th, 1776, when the United States Declaration of Independence was passed, an independent, rising, multi-ethnic country was formed in North America. That is the United States of America we know today. George Washington, the first president of the United States, said,
"It is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor."
O Lord, please have mercy on your child. Cure him.
The crop produces plentiful seed.
And everywhere, His deeds and His power can be found. His wisdom and authority.
Thanks for your care.
Everywhere they are shown.
You and there and everywhere. His
The drum
deeds
persists.
and His
Please take
power
care of
can
your
be
children.
found. His wisdom and authority.
Laws and all the rules embody the words
Allow us to lie down in your arms. Be with us.
everyone, yes, every one of them reveals His wisdom and His authority. Can escape from His sovereignty. Who is able to hide from His design? All things exist beneath His gaze. All creation dwells beneath His mighty reign. All things exist beneath His gaze. All creation dwells beneath His mighty
After the Civil War, the American economy developed rapidly. In 1894, the U.S. became the country with the greatest gross industrial output worldwide. Economic prosperity in the U.S. followed the outbreak of World War I. After the war, the U.S. turned from a country in debt, owing $6 billion into a creditor country that was owed more than $10 billion. It was the most prosperous nation on the planet. After World War II, America's military strength continued to grow, and it established more than 5,000 military bases all over the world. From an economic or a military perspective, the U.S. had become an undisputed world superpower. This established its political position in the world. On the basis of adhering to its founding principles of freedom, democracy, and equality, the U.S. took up its duty to play the role of the global police. So the U.S. has continued to intervene and interfere with world trends to effectively curb the expansion of authoritarian forces and to protect large numbers of people from all walks of life who have been persecuted for religious or political reasons. It has also greatly contained the spread of various evil forces and weakened the damage done to mankind by evil forces. In a sense, the U.S. has played an important role in stabilizing the global situation and providing a balance for world order. It plays an irreplaceable role in safeguarding and stabilizing our global situation.
Humankind exists and ours under the eyes of God. Mankind exists for the management of God, and for the same reason He takes His final.
Moses. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear.
Fear you not! Stand!